This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Hello, America, and welcome to the #1 radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach. Beach Talk Radio. Here are your hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
And welcome to Wahoo Willies, everybody. Thank you for coming. Yes, thank you. We try and roll this crowd in here. It's getting to that point of the year where it's hot outside and it's off season. But these are the diehards right here, dear. These are the diehards. They come to the show. They bring their broken arms and they're ready to roll. And I'll turn your microphone on. Whoa.
You're loud.
Yeah, I'll turn it down.
You gotta fix that.
There we go. Good to go.
Now you turned it way down.
Can
now
you guys hear okay?
Hear anything.
I've only been here since 9 o'clock trying to set things up. So welcome to Wahoo Willies for another Sunday brunch with the mayor. So much to talk about with the mayor. And it's such a special day for us because our daughter is coming over to our house afterward, which is really something that, you look at those opportunities and you say, yes, we're going to. So she was up at 5 o'clock washing the dogs, cleaning the house, cleaning the windows.
Can you hear? Yeah.
Yeah, they can hear fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, I am brining chicken, so we'll see how this turns out. It could go very.
What does that mean, brining chicken?
So you put it in a salt, sugar, and kind of some spices. Yeah. And then you let it sit for 2, 3, 4 hours. And it's supposed, because chicken doesn't have, I don't eat chicken, but it doesn't have much taste and it gets dry. So the salt goes in, it pulls, it keeps the
I love the way that
in
sounds.
there.
Nobody cares, dear.
But
They're coming over to hang out at the pool.
Salty.
Nobody cares about,
you asked.
The boyfriend's going to come over and he's going to say, wow, this is the best brined chicken I've ever had in my life.
Sure
I mean, it's crazy how you do. You overdo it. She always overdoes it for people that come to our house.
We have enough stuff for like days.
So, and they also have 2 dogs, 2 very young and rambunctious, energetic dogs, which we have 2 dogs. One is not energetic at all. One fell in the pool. Our bulldog, if you didn't listen to the show yesterday, bulldogs don't swim. And so Kim gets in the pool last weekend and then Cookie's running around. Of course, Cookie's got a brain tumor or some kind of crazy crap where she's got to take phenobarbital every 12 hours. So she runs around the pool and she slips. And then next thing you hear is ba-boom, and Cookie's on the bottom of the pool. I mean, she drops like a brick to the bottom of the pool. And there's my wife, like a lifeguard, rescuing the bulldog that she made fall in the pool.
She's not, I didn't make her fall in the pool. That's not a easy lift either, because that dog's right at around 50 pounds and soaking wet. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Ever since she started taking those drugs, she snores like a 75-year-old man.
What's your excuse?
Like crazy that I can't get any sleep with that dog now.
I can't get any sleep with the 2 of you. It's like ridiculous.
With the Tuyas.
That's I don't know.
By the way, everybody,
Philly coming out.
Before we introduce the star of the show, of the Sunday show, we want to remind everybody that on June the 15th, we're having a pub crawl. That starts at Margaritaville for we're raising money for the Community Foundation. So if you like to drink and you like to donate money, please join us on June the 15th. And we're going to start at Margaritaville. Then we're going to the Lighthouse and we're going to Susie Q's. And we're going to wind up here after we go to Root Shrimp and Nervous Nellies. And then we're going to wind up here. So if you have nothing else to do on June 15th, right after the show, please join us. And something fishy's going on here in front of me. What's going on here?
Come on over, Violet.
And then June 22nd, there will be no show on Saturday or Sunday because we are going to Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Violet.
I'm not going to try and pronounce
what is going on here.
Name.
Surprise.
Funstein?
Violent Funstein.
But there's a P in the front, right?
Yes. Get nice and close to the mic. There you go. What do you got going on, Violet?
Violet is one of our relatively long-time listeners, but she came down here and had us. Oh, you have it on too.
Yeah.
She
Turn
had
around.
us sign her shirt There you go.
That was like 6 months ago or something, right?
Yeah, it was last year. She comes down every year at June, and you stay over at the Harbor House. Is that correct? Go ahead and come down with your daughter.
Great Harbor House,
right? And you're so sweet, and you're so nice, and you comment on all of our stuff, and you're very supportive, and we appreciate it. And then you said to me today, which I don't know why, your presence here is a gift. You didn't have to bring a gift, but she said she brought a gift. And
come on, now you got me on the edge of my seat. Let's see it
for both of you.
For both of us. And you said your son
it was just
Dean?
For me, damn it.
Dean and Pat in Tennessee helped me with it.
Dean and Pat. So
this
hello
is going to be
them.
special.
I'm not computer wise.
Well, let's see what you got there. Don't fall off these chairs.
I
already
this.
Fell
this
once.
is so nice. I've never had anything like this. Thank you.
Pink on it for you.
Pink. How dare you?
Uh-oh. It's Kim.
Oh, two different.
Wow. Look
you guys
at that.
You guys should stop buying us gifts. It gets crazy after a while.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right. You ready,
chocolate.
Dear?
It's going to be chocolate.
No, I don't think it's. Just lift.
Let's see. We'll take the lid off. I see.
Don't break it. It's fragile.
Oh, gosh. Be careful, dear.
Look at that. Coffee cups.
Oh, my.
With our picture on it from our anniversary, right?
Oh, my gosh.
No, that's not from our anniversary. What's that picture from?
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, when we went out to eat.
No, that's on the water.
Oh, that's from the wedding. Mine is from that.
Well,
I see.
A little story.
Well, go ahead.
One picture that was real good. I wanted for you, but Ed's head was too big to fit on the mug.
How dare you, Violet? It's very nice.
Another picture.
I can't. It says something on the back, but I can't read it.
The best love is the kind that awakens the soul and makes us reach for more.
And speaking of reaching for more, there's also money in this.
You gotta have coffee money.
Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, there's coffee money in mine.
Holy shit, we're buying a lot of coffee today. That's so cool.
Thank you so
much. You guys don't
much.
need to do that. That was very nice, Violet. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you, Dean.
Thank you. Thank you to your whole family. That was very
nice. Dean and
nice.
Pat for helping out. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Violet. And one of the things that brings me to a point that I want to share with people. We got every once in a while we get a crazy email or a doofus text from somebody that says to us, do you get paid to do stuff like we did the Red Coconut broadcast on Wednesday? They don't, the developers that ask us to broadcast their information don't pay us. We don't get paid from those developers. They know that we have an audience, and so they want to spin it their way, which is fine, but we want to make sure that you see what exactly they're proposing. So they come to us and say, okay, come to our office. And the way it really worked well, I thought, Red Coconut, because it's nice to have a presentation like this, but it can get distracting when you have an audience and you have other things going on, especially at Margaritaville when it's crazy. They're playing what's that game with the bean bags, whatever that is. I mean, it gets crazy over there. So we went to his office. No developer has ever paid us for anything like that. And we just want to make sure that you have the information about these developments, because it's a huge thing that's going on the island right now. So we don't get paid for that.
The only thing we get money is if somebody advertises, but no one's giving us.
And it's crystal clear.
So whoever thinks something smells
there's
fishy,
no nefarious things going on. And
check themselves.
I don't know why I feel like the need to say this, but the 4 people so far that are running for town council, we won't take advertising from them. We won't take coffee money from them. We are friends with all 4 of them. Now, if they have content they want to push out, that's different. We'll have them on the show. There's going to be forums where you can listen to how they view things on development. But we are always going to do the mayor's show, because Dan has always been there for us from the beginning. And he's the mayor. He's the mayor of Fort Myers Beach. He's going to get more votes than anybody. And we're going to introduce him right now. Come on down, Dan. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but
that's a nice segue to Dan,
It's important for the community to hear from the mayor, I think. And
it's important. I know it's important to me. I know it's important to you too. That
can you move it back a little. Dan's not totally in the picture.
Make sure that kind of.
I got you.
I do take up some space.
And if you could turn the camera up a little bit from the nope. Yep. There we go. Perfect. All right.
Thank you,
Dan.
Donia.
Well, I think
Did you bring any gifts, by the way?
I did
How
not. But
dare you?
It looks like you got some good cookie diapers.
Yes. So I just wanted to put that out there. The developers don't pay us for anything like that. And some of them don't talk to me anymore, by the way. When we do the presentations, they see the spin sometimes not from, or they can say that it's from us, but they see the comments sometimes and they're like, F that, I'm never going back to you again. And there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, we don't have a vote. We don't live on the beach. We live in Gateway. We'll never have a vote. So all we can do is put the information out there and let it forward where it falls.
Sometimes you put your own spin on it, but that's your opinion. You're entitled to that.
I don't have an opinion on whether because I don't have an opinion one way or another if something gets built or not gets built. I don't.
You'll say things are nice. Or
I'm happy Margaritaville got built because I was 100% behind that, 100%, because he got a total lobotomy to get that thing built.
It was
things are changing. Times are changing. So
all right.
Anyway, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No. I mean, you'd mentioned that. Yes, I'm always accessible, but so are all the other council members. And since after the storm, pretty much everybody has been accessible. And as much as we've gotten the word out, it wouldn't happen without you guys being there every day. I mean, you coming in from Gateway to do what you did every single day. I mean, no one else did that. People were trying to come in and get little brief stories and make it, devastation stories. But you guys came back in and were showing the real story of what was going on. So your success comes from what you did, not from what anybody else did or said.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. You don't need to say that, but we appreciate that very much.
And it helped. It helped too because we'd been here, so we had grown. Before, we had grown. Like this was no, they're coming at me too. It had become. We had friends down here, and we loved the community. So.
Sure. Before we get to the questions,
you got a new bell.
I want to thank the Schoonovers. We have 2 new bells now. They not just one, because Kim was throwing the old bell around. Every time something went wrong for her, she threw it and hit the ground.
Is the other one for the guests when you ask me a question?
There you
go.
The whole history with the bell was every time somebody said that's a good question, we would ring the bell and
you wore it out.
And then everybody kept saying they knew the drill at that point. So they kept saying to Kim, good question. And I was like, you guys are just setting me up for this. So I threw the bell against the wall and broke it.
You're so
anger man.
I'm a sore loser. That's right. That's right.
Goose Fraba.
So let's start off with an easy question. When will
softball?
When will the beach renourishment start?
Very good question. There you go.
Starting right out of the gate.
I fed right into that one, didn't I? Threw you a softball.
We're not allowed to take anything, Dan, including compliments.
All right. Well, I can do that. No, soon.
Did you put mousse in your hair before the show? What the hell's going on up there?
I know I normally wear a hat, but
you put mousse in your hair, didn't you?
No, mousse. Does people still use?
I don't know. What is that? You got hairspray? Did you spray your hair?
No, he's probably got the like.
No, it comes with the Dollar Shave Club thing you can buy. It's like the goopity goop stuff.
All right, so
I don't know what it's called. It's like
pomade. That's
I don't know what they call it. It's sticky.
I have so many hair products back at the house for my hair. I can't keep track of it.
And I'll tell you, I'll get my hands dirty and I'll go to work but I hate things between my fingers.
Really?
I can't stand it. It's just like
what gets between your fingers?
I see. Lotion. Yeah. Just for some reason it drives me crazy. I can't stand it. But anyway, enough about me.
Yeah. So let's talk about
No, it's all about
Sarah,
you.
Who are you on the phone with?
No,
Are you calling somebody? We boring you already? She's on her phone.
I don't know the exact start date, but everything's been put in place to get started and moving forward. We, as you remember, probably the council meeting, we had the challenge on the bid. We decided to continue down the path we were on. So it won't delay us.
And it was so nice that guy that challenged the beach renourishment said, if we lose, we're out. We're not going to try and take you to court, because if you guys have been on this side, anybody's been on this side of Fort Myers Beach from the pier down to Bowditch, the truck haul project rebuilt that berm like it's crazy. Like you almost have to do this to see over the sand, which is really cool to see that much sand. And that's nothing compared to what you're going to be doing with the total the renourishment.
Well, it's going to push the sand further out. It's actually going to make the beach further out, not necessarily have anything to do with the berm. It's just going to attach to the berm and kind of be that gradual slope that goes out from 6 feet, whatever it is, down to the water line. And in certain areas down on the south end of the island where there is no beach, they'll now have a beach. So it's important. It's crucial. It's not just for looks. It's not just for people. It's for, protect us. We saw what the beach berm did when Adalia came through. Had we not had that, there would have been much, much more damage than what we had. So it did its job. Yes, it got knocked down, but that's the whole point of the emergency berm, was to make sure that it protected us from a low-lying surge, and that's what it did.
Okay, so the second easy question for you is Estero Boulevard from, I don't know, kind of over in the Red Coconut area, it seems to be battered. Like the middle of it, some of the manhole covers. Have you talked to the county? Are they going to replace some of that stuff?
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're going to replace it. We've obviously, since the road was done, we've had some issues with the pavers, and we've had some issues with manholes being, in my opinion, that were maybe placed too high and weren't set in the right areas. So, and then obviously the hurricane and all of the trucks and everything have been running over it, have not had
and now construction trucks.
It's just one more thing on the list of Hurricane Ian damage stuff that we have to look at down the road and figure out what we can do to correct it, because it can be a roller coaster ride going down Estero Boulevard in some parts.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want me to do?
I'm just saying.
Is this people that know?
Alan.
Oh, Alan. Oh, okay. Yeah, Alan. He was at the you were at the chamber thing. He was at the chamber thing. Is it last Friday or this coming up Friday? Last Friday. Okay. Alan he's our peer guy, guy on the beach. Yeah. So the next question I had for you is workforce housing. Is there something coming up Monday with a workforce housing presentation that people should know about?
It's going to be.
Council meets Monday.
Yes, tomorrow. So there'll be just a brief presentation about, we've talked a lot about workforce housing, and is it viable? Is it not viable? Before the storm, there was just no land available. Now we do have some land potentially available that we could do something if that's the will of the people, and that's what we want to do. So he's going to come in and kind of give us information as to what it could look like, where it would be, the commercial aspect of it, what the town's role in it would be, the CDBG GR funding that's available for it. So if we're serious about wanting to do any workforce housing, or if we're not, we'll find out tomorrow. But I think it was important, and I met with him, and we went over. His name is Mike Allen.
Okay.
So he kind of went through, here's what it works. I'm not an expert in it.
Is he like, what's his like, where's he?
I'm sorry, I don't remember the specific name of his company, but he is working with the county. They're doing the big project for work out in Cape Coral.
Okay.
So he came down and he met with me and kind of explained some of it. And he had a lot of questions, and I had a lot of questions that I knew council members would probably have. So I brought it up in an M&P to see if everybody would be okay with him coming in and just talking about it.
When you talk about,
it wouldn't be like the town buying the land.
No.
Town hall property.
We'll be looking at that, assuming everything goes according to what we hope it will go, with buying the new town hall and having that property. Potentially could be 80 units there of workforce housing on the old town hall site. Yep. It could be resident or commercial in the front. It would be, that didn't even include any part of the other section that goes back. That could be, because when I was talking to in my mind, what I envision, if there is a workforce housing, is it has to be something that the entire community can be involved in. It can't be just something that is for people that, although we need places for people to live on the island, that work on the island, it has to be something that all the community can benefit from, because it is town hall property. It is a tax. The taxpayers paid for that property. So having some sort of commercial space in the front, maybe a park in the back on the water there, was kind of what I thought about. And he's like, yeah, that's certainly some things that we could do. Is there potential to have the top floor be a hardened EOC? So if in the event of a storm, we have a place that we can go where people could, our staffers can get back to work. We can have the generators. We can have all the things that through FEMA funding, mitigation funding, we could probably get funding. So if we're ever going to do it, now's at least the time to talk about it and see if
who runs the program.
Well, it's HUD. HUD has a lot to
do.
But
who manages the building?
That'll be all the questions that'll be answered tomorrow. I don't have that
Not
answer.
the town.
No, the town, in my opinion, I don't think the town should be in managing any.
So do you sell off the property first?
No. So my understanding is the town would have an interest. Obviously, we own the land, so we would be a partner in it. Nothing could happen there without the town's approval, because we own the land. The town has to be involved, but they usually, my understanding of how it works, and this is why I wanted Mike to come and explain it all, because it's his business. He can explain it better than I can. And it has to be managed, but the town subs that out just like we would do any other kind of thing. So the town doesn't have to manage it, is my understanding. The town doesn't have anything. There's potential revenue that could come in from the commercial side of it. So these are all the questions that I have, and I know the other council members have that Mike will be able to answer.
And this is put up or shut up time for workforce housing, right? It's almost a perfect scenario.
Sure. I mean,
tomorrow.
I think the timing is the best. I mean, if we ever had a spot to do it, that makes sense to have a spot to do it. And I believe Councilor Safford had a good point. He wants to make sure that, this isn't just a cheap place for people to live.
Right.
And I think getting into what the requirements are for the dollar amount, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I mean, it was a substantial amount of money, like 52,000 seems to ring in my head of what he talked about when we briefly
For an
met.
annual income for
Which is
somebody
puts
to qualify.
which puts that in the realm of our town employees. It puts us in the realm of the school teachers.
Yeah.
All the people, the first responders. I mean, that's that
Right.
that starting avenue. So to me, it seems like it could be a win-win depending on all the stuff that comes out of it. But if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it now. Here's the opportunity to take advantage of it with the DR funding that's available.
And so
we'll see where it goes.
that presentation will be tomorrow at the
yeah.
town council meeting, which will carry live as always.
Yeah, after
And
our
that
lobbyist round book will be just before him.
Oh gosh.
sounds
Oh,
like
come on.
something
Is he
that's
going to
not
have a
gonna be-
time limit?
What?
I mean, I love Ron Buck,
Ron's a
but
great guy.
cheapers creamers, man. Sometimes he's like a
Yeah.
filibuster. I mean, does he have a time limit on?
And you would
yeah.
know about that.
Yeah.
I know, but see, I mean, last time it was like, are you looking at your watch? You
No,
got
it's
something to go
going- no,
on?
the
or you
phone's
gotta-
ringing.
I
I
mean,
was
who,
just
you need to
shutting
take a call or something?
No,
Or I mean,
no.
so I mean, he's going to update you on everything that you already know about because you go to Tallahassee all the time.
Well, I mean, you never know with Ron. He's always got some other good information that he brings, but he usually comes in, gives you good information, lets you know what's going on. I'll tell you, I will be the first to admit the first couple of years I wasn't sure because we never saw who's this Ron Book guy we're approving. And now that I've had a chance over the last couple of years to work alongside him, he is truly dedicated to his craft and he works very, very hard for us when we go up there. I've never seen anyone that can walk the halls of those buildings and never look up from their phone and never run into a wall. That guy his head's always down. He's always working and he just knows where to turn.
Okay. All right. So
He's
if
using
we're talking turkey here, I mean, that's nice that you have somebody you have a guy that helps you out in Jacksonville or
Tallahassee.
whatever the hell it is. But people only really care about the redevelopment on the island. Can you give this guy a time limit? Ed, can we start a drinking game tomorrow for how long Ron Book is going to go on for? Because last time, I swear he went on for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
he really went on for a long time.
And it was in the hot tent. Remember when
There was
no air
It's tons
conditioning in
of
the
fun.
tent and it was.
What time does he go on? Can you do a pre-meeting before the actual meeting starts to let him get it? Nobody cares what he has to say.
He's a busy guy.
That's
My
not
guess is
true.
he has a
Come
lot of
on.
things going on.
You
so.
guys watch that meeting tomorrow and tell me. You can text me how much you care about what's going on in Tallahassee.
It's all important, Ed.
Yeah.
It's kind of
what they're doing tomorrow. He's doing a presentation so he can see how much, so he can prove his worth. Like, what do you pay him? Like $5,000 or something?
No, I think it's 40,000 a year.
Oh, 40,000. So he comes once a year
Mhm.
to. Do you think has he repaid the town for the 40,000 you paid him? Do you think the town
Not repaid. but
taxpayers have gotten their money's worth?
Well, we got 22 million last year from the state legislature. I'd say that
Mostly because of you and
No,
Andy.
it's not just because of me, and it's not just because of Andy, and it's not just
All
because of Chris. He and his staff are the
All
ones
right.
that get us
Fair
in
enough.
the rooms with people. So, and he is the one that directs us. When you go in, he is almost like the pre-interviewer, the pre-person that you talk to
Yeah.
when you go and you sit down in his office and you explain to him what your wants are. And he will say, I could tell you that's not going to happen. I can tell you that's not going to
Yeah.
happen. I can tell you this is what's going on. So he advises you. And, for me, it was all about telling our story. It was just simply telling our story. And he's like, that's exactly what you need to do. So he definitely
right.
gives us
Fair
the
enough.
guidance that we need.
So your opinion is, and
negative
everybody
Nancy.
here values your opinion, he's worth 40,000.
Yeah. When Ron Book's office calls someone's office, they usually pick up the phone because he's been there so long. When you go into his office in Tallahassee and there's,
So he's like making the introductions, getting you in front of people.
yeah. And then once you're in there, you're on your own.
All right.
You've got to do
Gotcha.
the work. So
Fair enough. Do you know anything about the Wyndham? What's going on with that bill? Everybody's been asking about the Wyndham.
I have not heard. I've heard the family's still kicking around ideas. I've heard there's people looking at the property, but I haven't heard anything.
But you can
official.
really walk from Estero Boulevard to the beach through that building, and
Mm-hmm.
and nothing has been blocked off.
Well, there's been some comments and there's been some concern that when that does get sold or when it does get redeveloped, that people still have that access.
That's
to the
not what I
beach like
mean.
they
Right
did.
now, the
No, it's not blocked.
bill.
Demolition.
Of course not.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I know.
so is the town pursuing them, making it safe?
They are in the same boat that everyone
I
else
see.
is. That's not.
And
doing
how is that boat going?
there. Well, we're going to be
the
voting.
red
We're going to
tag
be
vote.
we're going to be voting on the final part of it tomorrow. The second reading of the
You,
ordinance.
you
will
might
be
need to
coming
back up
Okay.
and explain what that boat is so people know. I know you were talking to some
Yeah,
folks
so
earlier about a
essen-
specific building.
So essentially, they property people have property rights, right? So that you have to go through a certain step, legal step, because we had, I can never remember the name of it. It's an abatement, something that was already in place. We could go through the step of saying we pass an ordinance. You have to legally pass the ordinance to be able to say this is what our intent is if you don't take care of your property. Once you do that, you then can send out the letter. They have 30 days to comply. If they don't comply, then the town can take action. We can come and take your building down. We can do whatever, and then we can assess that to your tax bill. So instead of foreclosing your property, we can then assess it to your tax bill. If you don't pay your taxes, someone's going to pay those taxes.
Yeah.
The people will come in and they buy the tax credits, and so the town will get its money back much faster if in the event we have to. Our goal is that not have to tear
Right.
anybody's house down,
Right.
but
Right,
we've
the
gotten
town-
to the point, in my opinion, we've gotten to the point where enough's enough. If you're not communicating with us, if you're not being part of the rebuild, if you're just
It's
putting your
time.
property up for sale and you're just ignoring us, that ignoring is going to stop.
Yeah. So the town is in a tough position because you don't want to do that to people, but there are other people that have fixed their homes. They've planted grass. They
Sure,
have green
sure.
grass. They have plants. And then the house next door,
Well,
the
and
building
it-
next
it's
door
unsafe.
hasn't been touched.
It becomes a big safety hazard.
Yeah.
To your point,
Yeah.
it's the property that
I
they were
only get one
talking
in
about
once
has
in a
got
while.
sheared glass that's still sitting in the windowsill, and people are coming in and out
Yeah.
of it. And now you've got a business operating right across the street where people are coming and going. That's a serious safety issue.
Yeah.
And
Well, and going into
Your
the
hair looks
season
lovely,
that
by
we're
the way,
going
too.
into,
thanks. Did you notice I put moose in it?
we're
Oh, you're talking about Kim.
you're going to have to make sure that things are safe. You
Yes.
don't want stuff
Yes.
blowing around, God
Yeah.
forbid.
Well, we don't want to see anybody getting hurt. Nobody
Right.
wants to. We've come too far to see someone get hurt over something that's completely preventable.
So you're voting on that Monday, the second reading of
Yep,
it.
that's on the agenda for tomorrow.
So
Yes.
when in the perfect world, when might the possibility to see one of these structures being knocked down with a wrecking ball be?
Soon.
I've heard
I
that
can't- I
word
can't
soon
give you- I
so
can't
many
give you
times.
the-
I think that's the government answer to everything. Soon.
I can't tell you it's going to be July 13th at 4:23.
When's the
PM.
pier going to be built?
It's-
Not soon.
Years.
Yeah, soon.
Years.
Well, does soon mean months or weeks or?
Yeah, I would hope it's months. I
Yeah.
mean, once this is
Okay.
passed, now Joe can do what he has to do. Now he
Yeah.
can go out and tag the buildings and do everything that he has to do. He's
Right.
been working on it.
Did you
Hello.
ask about Santini?
I did. I don't
Yeah.
think Dan. You want to?
Anything?
I mean,
I've,
I'm
I've
gonna
heard
be-
I've heard there's people in there working trying to get
Yeah.
the businesses open, but I don't have any dates of when.
And I'll
People
be.
keep
be open.
asking
I'll be
about
honest.
that.
Not that I'm ever dishonest with people, but I'll be honest with people. I've asked Yariv to come back on the show on June 15th twice in the last week, and he's ghosting me. So maybe he's busy or whatever, but
Could be,
he's
yeah.
usually
A lot going on.
He's usually responsive. The first time I said, "Can you come back on the show June 15th?" He said, "Let me confirm. I'm in a meeting now. Let me confirm." And I never heard back from him. So I waited a few days and I sent him another text and I said, "People really want to." I didn't say this, but I said, "Can you come on June 15th?" And he never got back to me. So I mean, I'm asking as much as I can, and I don't
Maybe
know what's
if
going
he's
on
busy,
there.
maybe just ask him if he can give you an update on
Yeah.
how many leases have been signed.
Right.
Are they working on it? Just get some numbers.
And I know people just want one restaurant down on that end of the island. I think they'd be happy. Just one restaurant.
Well, you
would be
saw how
nice.
important the CVS and the 7-Eleven were. Imagine
Mhm.
if
Yeah, one restaurant.
But you got to
would
have the
be-
people down there to support it. We got to get the people back in their condos.
They
and
got to get elevators.
You got to get
Yeah.
elevators. We got to, it's people are getting much closer, and it's good to hear. But
Mhm.
I'm hoping by next season we can get as many as possible back in their condos because it's been a long time. And
Yeah.
the people that are getting parts, the elevators are breaking down, and they have to get more parts. It's elevators are a
Nightmare.
mess.
Yeah. So let's get to the elephant in the room, which is
Oh.
redevelopment of all these projects and all these things that are coming up. And this isn't an elephant in the room, but I would like to know what your opinion is on the presentation that you saw from Seagate about red coconut.
Well, I've been saying all along, I thought that one was going to be the interesting one. One they finally came out with what they came out with. I wanted to really see how people reacted to the density, how they reacted to the height, how they reacted to just the pictures that they brought up. Because I didn't actually see the final rendering until like a day or two before he revealed it on your show. So I hadn't really gotten a chance to see it. I will say this about the Seagate people. They have spent a lot of time working with our staff, a lot of time meeting with people to kind of get input. I agree with what Matt said when he said that, they tried to incorporate everything that was important to everybody that they met with, whether it be the old owners, whether it be the LPA members, whether it be council members, whether it be private citizens, whoever they've met with. I think that they did a very good job of listening to what was important to people and incorporating as much as possible. Now, obviously, I've been reading the comments too. Obviously, height's a big issue. To me, I look at it. I was just talking with these people right over here about height and density. What's more important? It seems like more people are concerned with height than density, which to me is a little concerning because personally, I'm the opposite. Height isn't as important to me as density because a height of a building doesn't bring traffic to the island. The density within the building brings traffic to the island. So, and I asked the question to them. I said, if you could have something that was 3 stories, but you couldn't see an ounce of the water, would you rather have that or have something that was 6 stories, but you had 50% of that property where you could see the water? And it brought them pause. And I think people are very visual when they can see things, when they can see the ramifications. Would I ever want 17 stories or 20 stories or 30 stories on the Red Coconut property right on the Gulf of Mexico? No, I don't think it's the right place for it. The way they proposed it and pushed it as far back on their property as they can, and they stair-stepped it, I think they've done everything that they can do. Now, I have seen a brief rendering of what it could look like by what they could do by right. And it's up to them if they want to share it.
Mm-hmm.
I have told Matt, I think it's important for people to see it because when you see what can be done without one single thing being asked and what they're proposing, I think that's when a light bulb would go off.
But to be specific, what you're explaining, people might not know. Well, you're talking about they have 150 units by right.
Correct.
And rather than going up in those 2 buildings, they could spread it out on 10 acres. So that's what you're trying to, you've seen that picture. And I've asked Matt for that picture, and Matt doesn't want to show that picture because he doesn't want to come across like he's threatening the community. Like if you hate this building, this is what I could build, which you have to respect him for that. He can, I want to be able to show it. I don't think
it's necessarily a threat. It's more information because it's not just him that could do it. It's any builder that comes can either go up or go out.
Well, you can look at it as facts or you can look at it as a threat. It's all in the eye of the beholder, right? What someone can do with their property is what they can do with their property. And you can't tell them no. So I don't look at that necessarily as a threat as much as it is
just information.
This is what we can do. But based on all the conversations we've had, here's what we think is in the best interest of everybody involved. Now, 17 stories is a lot above parking. Numbers are numbers, and people don't seem to be okay with it.
But I'm not in favor or not in favor of any project. But some of the things that he feels are public benefit they're way back off of Sterling Boulevard. Like by the time you get to the second building, it's almost 100. I think he told me 130 feet off of Sterling Boulevard. There's nobody in the back to block the view of the condo units. He has a right to 150 units. He might have a right to 300 plus units if he decided to build a hotel, because the town has this thing called a multiplier where if you decide not to be residential and you're going to be a hotel, this is where it gets in the weeds big time. Like you can have more units in a hotel than you could have if you were just deciding to do residential. So they could have 300 to 350 hotel units on that spot.
Well, and that's the way it's calculated now, right? Multiplier gets very confusing. If you convert residential to commercial, you get this multiplier. So if you have 100 rooms and it's a 2 multiplier, obviously you can do the simple math, right? The calculations that are being proposed now for the change is to go to an FAR calculation. Imagine a 10-acre property.
Floor area ratio for anybody that's not in the weeds.
Imagine the square footage of a 10-acre property that they could build 3 stories and think of what you could put inside that building if you use that calculation.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
A lot more than now.
It's a lot. And that's why I've always said, is height as important as density? To me, like I said before, height doesn't add traffic. What you put inside the building adds traffic.
Yeah.
So if I have to have 2 stories, but I'm not asking for, I'm just using random numbers. If I have to have 2 stories, but I'm not asking for any more density, or would you rather have someone say, I don't want 2 extra stories, but I want 40 or 50 or 60% more density? what makes more sense? Because the number one issue we have on this island that everybody complains about is traffic. When you add density, you add traffic.
So the other public benefit that the Red Coconut Seagate people are proposing is by the code, they only need to have 50 feet of a view corridor on the beach side. Now they're proposing a 2 or 3 story beach club on the beach side, but 240 feet of a beach corridor, that's real public benefit. I mean, you guys determine what's public benefit. To me, that sounds like public benefit.
You look at over the years, what we've talked about is what is public benefit: view corridors, green space, public access.
Yeah.
Those are 3 of the big ones that we talked about. Of their 10 acres, if I heard them correctly, they're giving almost 3 acres of green space.
3 parks.
That's
3 parks.
A third of their property is going to green space that's accessible to the public. The view corridor you already mentioned. So that's a lot of public benefit.
Yeah.
Now, does that equal allowing 17 stories? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But and I'm not going to tell Matt. Matt's a smart guy. He'll do whatever he wants to do. But people are very visual. And I think if you can see things side by side and get the understanding of, we can just do this, or we think we could do this. I think people need to see that, because I think that's when the light goes off in your head, is when you can see. Like, I'll use my wife Megan as an example. I can look at a house, inside a house, and tell you exactly, if I gutted it, what I could make it look like, and I can see it in my head. Megan can't see it until the couch, the furniture's in, the walls are painted. Everybody just sees things differently.
So let me ask you guys in the audience, by you clapping, are you okay with the Red Coconut proposal? If you are, clap your hands. I know you got a broken wing over there, so you can't really clap. If you're not okay with it, clap your hands. No clapping at all.
There you go.
Do you think it's too soon?
Clapping.
Okay. Too high? I
think that's what everybody's concern is, that it's too high.
Too high. I mean, it's hard to explain. Watching the comments on our page, people are afraid of heights. I've said that for a year now.
Well, let's ask
this question. They see a tall building.
Because let's say they took the 17 stories in the very back, because I think it goes from 2 to 4 to 5. I don't remember what
it
steps
back
up, right?
Yeah.
And they squished it down to 4 stories and then just spread it out over the entire property. Would you be supportive of that?
Wow.
Well, there you go. See,
that's
why it's nice to hear the questions. And
I guess it's
everybody has different opinions.
Right. You're going to have people that are, like you said, either the height is the thing or the density is the thing.
And would you be okay with the people that clap? Would you be okay if that was the same thing on the beach side? So it's 4 stories, but it covers the entire view. So there you go. Okay. So there's people that view corridor doesn't matter. So,
but you're never going to be able, if you're driving on Estero Boulevard and those buildings are spread out, you're never going to see the bay. You're never going to see the beach, because now you're covering all the property.
And that's the question: is if height is that, if that specific property, I'm not talking all the way across the island. I'm talking about that specific property, because that's what you're asking about. They can do that, and if that's what people want to see, then that's what they'll do, I'm sure. But
that's what everybody who comes forward could do. I mean, they could either.
But you got to also remember, when they do that, you're going to lose your 3 acres of green space.
Yes.
You're going to lose your public restaurant.
Yes.
It's going to be exclusive. It's going to be, and if people are okay with that, that's fine. And so I guess I'm at odds with what people want.
To come out,
I don't know what anybody wants.
People need to send
I'm glad
emails.
I don't live here, and I'm glad I don't have a vote.
People need to send emails and come
get
out
involved.
And speak.
That's exactly the reason people need to get involved. You need to have a voice.
Yeah, you can comment.
Some people have way too much voice. You are like.
You can comment on our page all you want, but it's meaningless unless you go to a council meeting or send an email or get up and speak your mind.
It's not like the town goes on our page and tallies it up. It doesn't count. So
they read it, but I mean, and people that come down and vacation on the beach, they have a voice. They don't have a vote, but they have a voice because they come down and they deal with the traffic. Sure. They deal with everything, just like
I think once Matt and Seagate have their open forum with the public that can come in and ask their questions and see and touch and feel things and ask their specific questions, because I bet everyone in here has this different question of that property of what they want to ask. And to be able to ask the people that are developing it, I think is very important. And when I had conversations with them, I wanted to make sure that was, and when we were going through the whole development agreement talks, that was important to me, that they had to, one, alert everybody within 500 feet like they have to do, but then also have a public meeting where people can come out and ask their specific
So,
questions.
so I want to ask the audience here, you've seen the Myerside pictures, right? I'm guessing everybody who's involved has seen the Myerside pictures. By a round of applause, are you in favor of Myerside? Okay.
There you go.
The Myerside density is how much of the increase in density compared to what they had before? If you go by the town's numbers, not by the neighborhood company's numbers.
It's 125% increase in density. They're asking for density, they're asking for height and parking. Alleviating some of the parking.
Yeah. So why I don't understand when you guys say some things like the density is it because the building looks so cute? Is that what turns everybody in favor of it? So if Matt,
it's a beautiful building for sure.
No doubt about it. And we're friends with Roland and Beverly, and it looks like a great building, and we have no vote. But my point is, if Matt showed you a red coconut building that looked sleek and pretty and had a nice, thing on it, would you be okay with it? Because they're below the density. They have come in with less density.
That's not what they're saying. They're against the height. So,
but they're allowed to have the density. So my point is,
asking them,
right,
and I'm saying that
right,
the folks that are against height,
but maybe Matt needs to show a pretty building.
Matter.
But maybe Matt needs to show a pretty building that it scales back just
I think for some,
like Myerside does.
I think the question is, how do you be consistent? How do you how much is too much height? Is it 1 story? Is it 12 stories? Is it 3 stories? How much is too much, and how much? So is it no extra height at all?
Well, what is the max?
You can have a little bit because it looks nicer. I mean, what's that threshold?
The max?
The max is 30. You can get up to 35 feet if you do the wedding cake or the stair step. So anybody can do that. If you do the freeboard, so your base flood elevation, you can then add 3 feet of freeboard. So build it essentially 3 feet higher. If you do that and you stair step your building, wedding cake it, you can get an additional 5 feet. Anyone can. A resident, a commercial owner, anyone can do that.
But with a CPD, they can get, sky's the limit?
You can certainly ask for, you can ask for more, yes.
So,
but you still can't ask.
But that's the thing, I think, and we talked about this before you came on, about explaining that sticking with the comp plan, you are sticking with the comp plan, but the CPD process is in the comp plan.
Yeah.
So
let me set you up for this, Dan. Yes, let me set you up for this. I have been harassing Anita. Everybody knows she's one of the few people on Fort Myers Beach that everybody knows by one name. I have been harassing Anita for like 3 days. Anita, you have to cut a video that explains that even though you have said twice, the town council and the LPA, that you're sticking to the comp plan, that doesn't mean you'll never go above 30 feet. Because within the comp plan and the land development code is the opportunity for any developer to apply for a CPD. And that means you can ask for 100 feet. You can ask for 7,000 feet. Doesn't mean you're going to get anything, but we talked about this last week, and I don't think you like this phraseology, but that's basically the escape hatch for sticking to 30 feet. It's in there, but that is the rule. Even though you all voted for it twice, you didn't vote for 35 feet. You voted for what's in the comp plan and the LDC.
Well, that is in the comp plan and the LDC,
yes.
So you can do that.
Yes.
Now, if you want to go above that, then you have to go through the CPD or the RPD process if you're residential. So the residential can do it just like a commercial can. The only difference is the first letter. So you can still go through and ask for more, whether you get it or not, whether you're doing public benefit, whether you're doing all those things. It's still the process that's in place that was there before the storm. You can ask for anything you want as long as it falls within the maximum allowed by the comp plan. You can ask for it. But doesn't mean you're going to get it.
But public benefit, the thing that when Anita came on our show about a year ago, she said public benefit should not play into your decision. I wonder if she would revise that now, because it does play into your decision. I feel like that you guys are going to give people more if you feel like you're getting public benefit in return. But at the time that she came on our show, when she came to our house to do the show, she said public benefit really shouldn't play into it. Now, maybe she feels different about it now, but I mean, should public benefit play into whether or not you give somebody more height?
To me, yes, absolutely. Because what else is there to go on?
I don't know.
When you're negotiating in any business, if you're giving more to someone that wants something, usually you get something in return. I want a 4-wheel drive truck versus a 2-wheel drive. Well, that's going to cost you more.
Right.
So you have to have something to be able to allow that.
You have to have
mechanism.
a bargaining chip. Yeah.
Now, everybody's idea of public benefit is different. You hear it here. Some people's view corridor doesn't matter to them. Some people, height is more important. So everybody's public benefit is a little bit different. And it becomes very difficult when you're looking at each one of these projects individually, like you're supposed to, and you're judging it where it's located and everything on its own merits. It's very hard to take certain things out of it. It's hard to take out. We all know each other, right? So some of these projects, we know everybody knows everybody. Friendships are a real thing on the island.
Yes.
And it's hard sometimes to make decisions when you have people that you know sitting across from you that you may or may not agree with there, because you have to look at it when you're sitting in the position as a council member. You have to look at it. Does it benefit the entire island?
Well, and
if what they're asking for above what they can get by right, does it benefit the majority of the island, not everyone on the island, because you're not going to make everyone happy.
But you also have to listen to the people too.
Absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
That's why
that's
you
one
need
of the
people
requirements.
speaking out, because you don't know that not everybody sitting on the council knows what's a benefit to everybody there.
And what's a benefit to me may not be a benefit to the other 50 people that are in there.
And just so everybody knows, we get these people that post on our page, and sometimes I feel like it's important to address it. These developers can meet with town council members and LPA members individually. They can pitch their project to them. They can try and get a feel for whether or not these plans are going to be approved or not. What can happen is Dan can't go to Scott or Dan can't go to Jim, and they can't talk about the conversations, and they don't. Mm-hmm. This council is they abide by the rules, and they're trustworthy than we've ever had as far as I
think it goes with the developers too. I could tell you of all the meetings I've had, not once has someone said, well, I'm speaking to someone else and they had it.
Right.
Not once have they said that to me. Not one of them.
Right. A developer can't say, well, Jim said this.
Right.
And so, I mean, that is the daisy chain that's not allowed to happen. And that would be a violation of the sunshine.
They're very aware of what we have to follow. And, they don't want to jeopardize their project. Just like we don't want to jeopardize our reputation.
Right.
When we meet with people, it's nice because that's a way for you. Because think about it. If you didn't meet with developers on any level or any person that has, whether you want to put a pool in your backyard, it's no different when we met with the people that wanted to do a pool on the south end. We went to look at the house. Imagine how long a council meeting would be if you didn't go and at least have some information ahead of time.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be.
There's still too many.
They already run a little long.
They are long.
There's still. And that was such a lot of big project. If somebody needs a pool cage or something like that, should never come in front of the town council.
Well, we changed that.
I know you're getting closer to.
Now, if it goes through the LPA and there's no objection in 10 days, that's a fantastic idea.
Right. What do we miss, Dan? We've got the next segment. If I don't cry in the next segment with these guests. It's going to be shocking. I am going to cry. So what? I don't want to cry around you, Dan, because that would be unmanly.
I think it's important to remember we have entered into hurricane season. We just had the governor or Senator Scott was down here talking about it, reminding people to be safe. And as I said to the media when they were here, the town, the county, the fire district, Lee County Sheriff's Office, we are working pretty well as a well-oiled machine right now. We are doing the best we can to share information and make sure that we have a plan in place should the unfortunate event that something happens. But at the end of the day, it comes down to everybody sitting out there. We can't protect you if you don't protect yourself. We can give you all the paperwork. We can give you all the resources. We could give you all the literature. We could give you everything. But at the end of the day, we can't force you to do something. And unless you take care of yourself, Lee County Sheriff's Office and the fire district can't help you find you. Yeah. If you don't take care of yourself. So
put anything right there.
Make sure you have your plan in place.
Yeah. And here's the other thing that's important to note. If the weather people tell you the storm is going to Tampa, leave your house. Don't believe what they're saying.
It's too close. If anybody that's been down here through a couple of storms understands, once it hits the Gulf of Mexico, all games are off. It can go in any direction. And it's
better to err on the side of caution and go.
Once it gets around the point of Key West and it comes into the Gulf of Mexico and it hits that warm water, you don't know where it has a mind of its own at that point. You can give projections and hopefully it follows those projections. But once it gets into the Gulf, if you haven't prepared, if you haven't left, it's too late.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, thanks very much.
Thanks
we'll see you tomorrow for the town council meeting. Big hand for the mayor, Dan Allers. Are you going to get the next? Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to our next segment, get your tissues out. This is going to be emotional for me. Yeah, it is going to be. emotional for me. Maybe it's just me. I need to tell you about some of our sponsors. Jorge Barrera. If you got $1 million burning through your pockets right now, and if you're sitting here at Wahoo Willie's, you probably do. It has nothing to do with the price of the food or anything like that, because it's fabulous. But what I'm saying is, you know, you're here on the beach. You might have some money that you want to spend on property. Maybe you have property you want to sell to somebody that has $1 million burning a hole through their pocket. You want to call Jorge Barrera, the #1 trusted agent on Fort Myers Beach, because, you know, not only is Jorge selling and buying property on Fort Myers Beach, he is also giving a bunch of money away every time he sells something. So, you know, that money's going to charity. He doesn't want to tell us what charity it's going to or how much he's donated, but it's a boatload, people. Give Jorge a call right now, because he's hanging out in his car with his little pug dog. Is it a pug dog that he has? What kind of? He's got some kind of bulldog. And the phone number for Jorge is 239-791-9893. 239-791-9893. There's all kinds of activity going on behind the scenes here. We also want to tell you about Power Block Builders. If you want to build a house that withstands the next storm, you know, the last thing you want to do is build a house that falls down in the next storm. Oh, yeah, I love it. They're coming up with drinks. Oh, Jesus, Christmas. They got, okay. Let me tell you about Power Block Builders. 35 years of structural experience, completely local and supportive of rebuilding Fort Myers Beach. They have monthly Meet the Builder meetings, and all their models are online with pricing and floor plans. You can call Power Block Builders right now at 239-849-1919. 239, is that a camera? Is that a camera?
Talk about
wow.
it. Yeah.
All right, thank you to Power Block Builders.
The technology.
This is
all
ahead,
right.
dear.
So we have. Let me get this right. The LS Warriors, right? Louisville Slugger Warriors.
Correct.
All right, and tell us about the team. And you're Dave Van Sleet.
Correct.
All right, and you founded the team.
Correct.
All right, so tell us about the team, why you founded it, how long, all the deets.
Okay. So I'm a U.S. Army veteran. Have a degree in prosthetics.
Thank you very much.
Have a degree in prosthetics. Worked for the VA for 30 plus years, and always enjoyed softball and baseball. And when I retired from the VA, I came up with an idea about this, and it sort of went virtual. And so I live in Estero, Florida, but all the guys that are here, the whole team members, they live all over the country. And so we play regional tournaments, we play events and stuff like that. So we're having a national documentary done on the team by John Bafar of Dreamtime Entertainment, and John's won 9 Emmy Awards.
Wow.
And so we've started filming in January, and we're filming again this weekend because a lot of difference of schedules, because we had some in college still, and we had to wait till they were out over Christmas break, and they were done. 3 of them just graduated in May. So one of our major sponsors is obviously Louisville Slugger, but Margaritaville is a major sponsor of us. So wherever we travel, if there's a resort, a restaurant, a bar, whatever, they take care of us.
So you have history with Jimmy Buffett, don't you?
I do.
Tell us the story.
I broke the Guinness Book of World Records with Jimmy Buffett for the largest margarita. And
wait, you two drank it together?
Well,
did you drink it or make it or
wait a
swim
minute.
in it?
Wait a minute.
I mean, what?
It was in Las Vegas next to the Flamingo.
Oh, didn't they knock that down? It's not even there anymore.
It was 4 stories high.
Cut it out.
The drink?
The batch. They had 2,500 gallons of tequila that went in there.
Now that's a height this island will not be afraid of.
Yeah. Before they put the ingredients
Somebody
in.
tell Matt Price he needs to build something with tequila in it.
Sorry, that's an inside baseball joke. No
and
pun
they sold
intended.
it. They sold it on the main drag for 2 weeks till it was empty.
Wow.
So you could buy.
Is it still in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Absolutely.
Yes, very
absolutely.
nice.
And
Who's gonna
they took
do
the whole
that?
team to his concert that night,
Nice.
MGM.
Nice.
But the AP was there and took a photo.
For those of you that are young that don't know what the AP stands for, it's Associated Press. They used to be a news organization that doesn't exist. Like most of these guys have no idea what the AP stands for.
So I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Really?
Me and Jimmy. And then when he died, a lot of people with social media made tributes to him just recently.
Yeah.
And they ended all the social media tributes with me and him. So it's been resurrected.
Yeah, yeah. So,
That's awesome. So can I just
ahead.
ask about the team? So the team players are from all over.
Correct.
And a variety of upper extremity, lower extremity amputations.
Yeah,
right?
they're either missing most or part of their arm, a hand, or a lower leg.
Okay.
And is it mostly from being in combat, or is there? It could be from anything.
Birth or
From anything
injury?
now.
Okay.
We have 6 veterans on the team, but we want to get the team better and better and better. So it's if you're an amputee and you can make this team, you're on this team.
Yeah. You can be an amputee and not make the team. I mean,
absolutely.
Wow. I mean, you really got to suck at the baseball then, right? Or I mean,
well.
So I watched the video. You're a pitcher, aren't you? I think you're in the video. Yep. Yeah. So how long did it take you? What happened to the other microphone? Oh, we only had 3.
Yeah.
So you, how long did it take you to figure out how to switch? You put the glove on one hand and then switch to the other hand so that if the ball comes back at you, you got to be able to catch it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it took a long time. I was one of the guys that was born without my hand. So I like to say I was lucky. I had my whole life to learn how to.
Wait, you were lucky.
Yeah, I was lucky. I mean,
all you kids out there that are playing on your phone right now and goofing around with the stupid games that you play, realize what this guy just said, how he's lucky.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I view it. You know, I had my whole life to learn how to adapt and overcome it. And so there's moments where I felt bad for myself, but then I started playing with these guys that lost their limb, 10 years ago, and they're not making excuses and they're not, complaining about their circumstance. They're out here playing baseball. So, yeah, the team is great. For me, I started about like 3 years old. My family got me out playing baseball early. And then just throughout the years, you just learn how to do it better, faster, quicker.
Because you have to protect yourself after you pitch. I mean, you can learn how to throw with your right hand, but you have to protect yourself from the ball coming back right at you. So what's the main portion of what you did switching the glove from one hand to the other?
Yeah, that was a big part of it. But honestly, so like when you pitch at a higher level and you start throwing harder, the ball comes back at you a lot harder. So I don't get my glove on in time just because when you finish your pitching motion,
right,
you're not in a spot to like get the glove on. So it's basically a fight or flight. If the ball's coming at you, you either try to get in front of it or duck.
How fast can you throw?
I was just going to ask that.
Sorry.
Can you let me get a question?
I'm sorry.
He just has to hound.
I'm so enamored by this. I mean,
good Lord.
I'm the sports guy.
So,
you're more on the kayaking thing.
No. So how fast can you throw the ball?
Well, I used to throw 92. Now
I have to tell you a story.
I can throw it 2 miles an hour.
I used to be a catcher in high school, and I was a backup catcher. So I had to catch the pitching machine. Like, the pitching machine isn't regular baseballs. They're like lacrosse balls that they put in the pitching machine. And I got hit in the, sorry, ladies, I got hit in the nuts with one of those things. And it's the worst possible thing that you could ever get when the thing bounces.
Can you do me a favor and do not include that last little bit in your documentary?
Obviously, you're still affected by that injury.
Yes, I've been telling that story for 30 years.
There's a joke in there, but I'm going to let it go because it's mixed people.
I mean, the pitching machine is the worst thing. I would rather be out there with a regular baseball, not those rubber balls.
So every guy here and behind you, whatever, has played college baseball with an amputation.
So you're telling me to shut the F up, right? About getting hit in the nuts with the ball, right? Okay, I probably hear you. I'm down with that. I'm good with that. So is there a league that you guys in a league, or how does the whole... Well, there you go.
Well, first of all, we don't live together.
I didn't say you live together. I mean, where did that come from?
Geographically, we don't live together.
Oh, I see.
So you go around the country playing games?
Yeah, and they converge at an airport, and we head out from there, and they go back Sunday night or Monday morning.
So you went to JetBlue yesterday. What went on at JetBlue?
Well, the main thing is we're getting the documentary film.
Are we going to be in the documentary?
No.
Not the way you're talking.
No.
Come on, man. Put me in. I'm a star.
That's a hard no.
Come on, bro.
No, you might be for this. But a good ending to his story. Don't feel sorry for him. I went to his wedding in South Dakota last fall. I know.
Is your wife over here? I'm guessing. Okay.
And she was living in Naples, and he moved her to South Dakota.
Oh my goodness!
Jeez. How long have you guys been married?
We got married in September, so very recently.
So how old are you, man? You got great hair, by the way. How old are you guys? I mean,
I'm 27. The hair is starting to fade, though. It's receding, unfortunately.
Are you going to have kids? You're going to plan on having kids?
Okay. Well,
how many would you like to have?
Do that.
3 kids. She wants to have 3 kids.
So don't feel sorry for him.
I don't feel sorry.
He found his left hand.
There you go.
How'd you guys meet? Give him the microphone back, will you, Dave?
So we actually met. We were traveling down here for this team actually 2 Memorial Days ago, and I changed my Hinge location. It's an online dating platform. I changed it to Naples when we were there. And
Hinge location?
Yeah,
it's like a dating app, and so she just happened to be on it, and she was dumb enough to say yes, I guess.
Wow, Hinge location, right? Okay.
Can we ask?
Yeah,
everybody say
let's
their
have somebody
name
else.
and what-
Have somebody else come up
Well,
too.
no,
Yeah,
let's
I don't. This sounds crazy, but I would like to see somebody that how they work with their leg on the field. I mean, I don't know how to say that the right way without offending
while you're
anybody.
switching it out.
Yeah, come on up.
While
Bring
they're
somebody else
switching it
up.
out, let's give your name and the position that you play.
I'm Josh Stevens. I play pitcher, and I'm from Huntsville, Alabama.
Tim Rufino. I'm a pitcher, and I'm from Bogalusa, Louisiana.
I'm Derek Holcomb. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I play second base.
Wow, everybody's from everywhere.
Rocky Lorenzo. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I play pitcher.
Colton DeRocher. I'm an outfielder from Sioux City, Iowa.
Wow, from
I'm
everywhere.
Luke Britton. I'm a right fielder, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
And you are?
I'm Michael Kame. I'm a pitcher from Olympia, Washington.
So, Michael, how old are you? Like 18?
22.
22, I see.
Yeah.
Man. So tell us what happened to your leg.
Yeah, so I was born without a foot. Basically, I was born without my fibula in my right leg. I had a little piece of my foot left after I was born, and then they amputated it. I was maybe 3 or 4 months old. So I've lived my entire life with prosthesis, learned how to walk with it, learned how to do everything with it, learned how to play baseball with it. So
you played baseball since young age.
5.
How did you go through the little leagues and the whole thing? Were you accepted from the beginning? Or?
Yeah, I think I was. I think I was lucky enough to have a really supportive family and a really supportive group of friends that I grew up with that didn't really see me as anything different.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really able to, perform and practice and do all the things that all the other kids were doing. And that allowed me to really create a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And once I had that confidence, it was just up to
which one of these ladies is your wife?
She's not here right now.
So you're married too?
I'm not. She's my girlfriend.
22. Like, you planning on getting married?
At some point, yeah.
When are you proposing
Can
to
I
her?
ask a question?
It's fair, right? That's a fair question.
It's a fair question. It's not planned yet.
Soon this year, you think?
Okay.
In the next couple of years, probably, yeah.
So are you in school now?
I just graduated.
And where did you graduate from?
I went to Vassar College.
Mhm.
It's a
I
school in New
love
York.
Vassar College.
And what did you get a degree
Where
in?
is Vassar?
New York, upstate. I double majored in computer science and economics.
Nice. Wow.
So you're smart in addition to athletic. Like, so how, which position did you say you played?
I'm a pitcher.
Pitcher. So
first
how
base.
fast can you throw?
My highest was 85.
Well, that's not nearly as fast as
It's
this
not.
guy here,
Parker's,
man.
Parker's so much better than
85,
me.
man. That's like throwing a wiffle ball.
It
I mean,
is,
people
yeah.
are they're hitting home
It
runs
is.
off you all the
True.
time, or
Do
Yeah,
you
a
know
couple
who
of them do.
Come on.
Major League Baseball?
85. Come
Do you
on,
know
I
who
can hit 85.
Do you know who the Major League Baseball?
Yes, he played for the Los Angeles. He played for the California Angels before they went to Los Angeles, and he was wicked good. What was his name? Jim Abbott.
Jim
Yeah,
Abbott.
he played for a long time.
Yeah.
And he
So
he
it's-
really figured out how to switch the glove. I mean, he was an
go back
inspiration.
and
So I
forth.
imagine. Do you guys have you guys ever met him or been around him or does he help out at all? Or is he? I don't even. Is he still alive? It's been a long time. I mean, he was around in like the 90s, right? It's been a while. So
First of all, our head coach is Curtis Pride, who played 11 years in Major League Baseball. He played against Jim Abbott.
Yeah.
So he brought Jim Abbott in as like a supporter for us. So a lot of the guys started playing baseball that are missing a hand or an arm because of Jim Abbott. I think probably Josh, Colton.
Yeah.
You met him, right? You've met him. Parker, have you met him? Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of the guys have a connection with him.
What was his, how did he, what happened to him? He was born that way,
He was
right?
born that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And exceptional.
That dude could throw way more than 92 miles an hour, man, right? I mean,
No, I don't know about that. No, he did not.
Curveball? He had the curveball? Or
I mean, he had an assortment of pitches.
But he lasted a long time.
But he sent a really nice video to one of our players just before this trip. So, and we have that clip.
Dude, let me ask you a question.
Oh, boy.
Sit in the chair.
Can I ask a question?
Not yet, dear. Let me ask
Oh, my
you.
God.
I mean, come on. It's a sports thing. This is my thing.
Oh,
so
right. Oh, boy.
How
You're gonna
inspirational? How inspirational are these fellas to people? I mean, how do you take advantage of?
I don't know that they think they're inspirational,
Come on.
but they're
real-
personally.
Yeah, they don't.
But they obviously are, because little kids are like amazed by what they can do with what they're dealing with. And, you know, they treat everyone politely and respectfully. And we have some team guidelines that you got to follow by. And
be in bed by 8 o'clock, or no girls late at night.
Well,
I mean,
well,
what
let
kind
me
of
ask
team
you
guidelines
this.
should they have?
You look like you're hanging out on the beach.
I do.
Okay. One of our guys got in at 4 o'clock in the morning. What the hell's open until 4 o'clock here?
Cut. He needs to be cut.
I don't know
Come
about
on now.
that.
What kind
I
of
don't
rule is
know.
that?
Peter, what's open till 4 o'clock in the
Not on
morning?
this beach. No way.
got in at
Who
4?
was it? Yeah.
Luke.
Get his ass up here.
Where were
We need
you
to- we
at?
need to- what the
Where
hell
were
is-
you at 3:30?
Luke, get up here. What the hell were you doing until 4?
Yeah, you said you got in at 4.
He was sleeping on the beach. That's what he was doing. There's nothing open. Come on, bro.
He doesn't know where he was.
No, but seriously, man, don't make a joke of this. This is
No.
funny
But
stuff.
let me
Come on.
to that point. What would you say, any of you, to a kid to give them encouragement that they can, you know, pursue their dreams no matter what? So what would you say? What?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been. I always like to show. I like to show kids what I can do, and I feel like that, you know, implicitly like lets them know what they can do, whether they have an amputation or not. You know, we had a bunch of little kids out there yesterday watching us play, and and I think just them watching us is enough. Like, yeah, us conversing with them, talking to them, showing them that we're just normal people. We have dreams just like them. We, you know, live daily life just like them. It lets them know that, you know, anything they're struggling with, they can also overcome those things.
But, you know, I know I'm going to take a lot of crap for this, but, you know, most kids, okay, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, and so I'm one of the few people on the team who wasn't born with a deformity or amputation, and I got hurt 11 and a half years ago. And, you know, certainly in
How'd you get
1,000
hurt?
years, I never thought I'd be an amputee, but
How'd you
life
get hurt?
happens. I was injured in a deer hunting accident. I got shot and, you know, lost my right foot halfway down my shin. And so life happens, right? And obviously honored to be a part of this team, and just the silver linings are just incredible. So just an incredibly interesting chapter in my life. And life continues to go on.
Yeah.
You can still do all the things that you want to do if you just get off the couch.
And stay out till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
you know, it's nice to have a late night.
It was you.
All right. So he's not starting in the next game. That's for sure. He's going to have to, he's got a little bit of trouble. So, yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
come on
for
over.
Sure. So before that, who do we have here? Come on, man. Tell us your story.
No, so I'm Colton DeRocher. I'm the one from Sioux City, Iowa. I have a congenital birth defect on my left hand. And they wanted me to come up here to inform that I actually just broke my college's career home run record.
What?
Before coming here to this.
Nice.
So-
What college?
Central College in Iowa.
Nice.
So, Colton, how do you grip the bat to be able to hit a home run? Like, even if it's 250 or 300, that's, I mean, how are you able to grip the bat?
So I'm able to actually fit it in between my thumb and like where my pointer's supposed to be. And it just kind of fits in there like that.
What, 32 ounce, 33 ounce? What are you swinging?
Well, I swing a 33 and or 34. It kind of depends on
Wood?
who I'm
Are you guys
facing.
using metal or steel, or the back? Are you using
In
wood?
College, we use metal, but
Yeah.
for this team, we use wood.
Unbelievable. How many home runs was that?
I hit 25 in 3 years.
25 home runs. Yeah.
Nice,
Holy crap.
nice.
I mean, and what was the furthest home run?
One of them was off of me too.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
That's actually how I got recruited on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how was it growing up playing baseball when you were young?
I mean, in my like hometown and surrounding areas, everybody kind of like knew who I was, so it wasn't that big of an issue. For me, it was more when you got invited to like showcases to try to get recruited. Everybody, most of the time, people think you're the like pity invite or like they're inviting you to feel good, and so you actually like show them what you can do. And because a lot of times you have to like play catch and warm up, and you're the last choice to get played catch with because you don't know any of the other kids there. But other than that, I mean, in my hometown, I was fine in travel ball and everything else that way.
What furthest home run you ever hit?
I think the furthest one was measured at 462 feet.
Wow. That's further than Aaron Judge has ever hit a home run in his life, man.
No, that man has hit some balls 500 plus. I wish I could hit it that far.
Do you think will you get a tryout with a major league team?
I mean, I have had a couple like independent league offers, but none of them that like I've been worth seriously considering. But no, probably nothing MLB wise.
Yeah. Are you going to get married? Yeah.
Well.
Oh, you got your girlfriend here? How long you been dating her?
Just shy of a year.
1 year. So that's long enough, right?
No.
Right? I mean, yeah. Are you going to have kids when you get married?
I mean,
you knew coming up here this was coming on.
Did you say Sioux City, Iowa?
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there to do but to have kids in Sioux City, Iowa? I mean, is that do they even have a bar in Sioux City, Iowa?
Yes,
They probably have a couple of them. Well, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna.
No.
Our,
Don't really put him. You're worse than he is. Oh my goodness. Let's get the veterans on.
We need
and
to have the veterans on.
Yeah.
Come on. We'll give me 2 veterans up here.
And I'll give up my microphone.
Oh, here. Why are you going to do that, dear? I don't.
Well, because you don't let me get a word in edgewise. So
it's a sports thing. That's my thing. I used to play
it's
baseball.
Not your thing. You weren't that good at it. I'm just letting you know.
I could have been a professional baseball player.
Right.
I just chose podcasting. I thought it was going to be more lucrative. Yeah, where are you going now? All right, can you put your foot up on the table so people can see? A little bit this way.
Look at
a little
that.
bit this way. There you go. What now? Explain to us what happened.
Well, I was in the military for 21 years. On my 3rd deployment, I'd injured my ankle. I actually got a carburetor thrown at me, and we went in Solder City. Lights went out. They started throwing stuff.
Wait, the enemy started throwing carburetors at you instead of
they're just civilians in the area that just don't like us. Yeah. So
Solder City was.
I got hit with a carburetor, and then I redeployed.
Like, where does an enemy find a carburetor sitting around to throw it at?
I turned my tack. It was in the middle of the night.
Creepers.
It was pitch black, and I turned on my tack light, and it was a freaking carburetor. So
How long were you in the service for?
21.
21 years, and where have you been? Yeah, thank you.
I started out in actually, what was my first duty station? Fort Leonard Wood was my first one for basic training, and then I went from there to Germany, from Germany to Fort Stewart, Georgia, and back to Fort Leonard Wood where I retired.
So you went to Iraq?
Yes, 3 times.
3 times. Yeah. Where have you been?
So I was explosive ordnance disposal guy in the Air Force.
So explain to people what that means.
The military's version of the bomb squad, basically.
You go out and make sure defuse the bombs before the fighters go out and fight the fight, or
yeah. So we get attached to different units and things like that to basically give freedom of movement to.
Yeah.
Obviously during the height of the wars, it was all the improvised explosive device stuff.
Yeah.
So disarming the roadside stuff.
I've been reading World War II books about Normandy and how those the guys had to go out to defuse the bombs on the beaches of Normandy or in the water before they actually got there. It's insane.
They're still doing it.
It's death wish.
Yeah, they're still. I mean, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
So, but I have all my fingers.
So you're totally good. You're just
I
what
was
happened?
involved in an explosion that basically shattered my pelvis, and I had to have a hip replacement and stuff, and which ultimately medically retired me. But they created an instructor position for me at the school, so very blessed in that manner. I went from being active duty to being a federal employee as an instructor, instructing at EOD school.
So something blows up and shoots you in the air, and you're laying on the ground, and are you thinking, "Holy shit, I'm gonna die"?
Honestly, no. At that time, I was thinking I lost my teammate, so it was more about.
You were thinking that, or it actually did happen?
No, it happened. So I had to basically get my wits together and go get him, so that we could
take him back,
bring him home. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, I mean, how do you emotionally deal with all the crap that you've seen and gone through. I mean, we on this beach, we talk about the first responders and how they had to go through some of the buildings and find what they had to find and how they try and mentally deal with that. And you guys have seen some shit, right? I mean, how do you get through all that?
Talk about it, buddies. I don't know, like other people that can relate, that have been there and experienced it. That's pretty much the only way I deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it is about relatability. I mean, there's really no other way to explain it because I say, two people can experience the same thing.
Right.
And one is prepared for that experience and one is not. So one's going to come out and one's going to have a lot more challenges. So, I mean, we're well trained and we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
It's just an unfortunate.
How do we toughen up kids these days?
Oh,
I mean, come on, man. I know you can't even say that. I'm going to be taken to jail if I say that. But I mean, seriously, I mean, it's gotten crazy. How soft we've gotten.
Yeah, we have. The Army has gotten soft.
The Army
really
too.
has.
Yeah.
I was ready to get out when I retired. I was done. Yeah. It's just changed so much.
So what does baseball mean to you guys? Why play baseball?
I mean, for me, it's seeing, like I said, I mean, some of these guys were born that way. Some, like the stories are so humbling that, like, I was explaining before, like I might wake up one day and struggle tying my shoes, but like he's only got to put one shoe on. Like I can fucking get over it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have a leg.
Right.
Like I can deal with some pain. Like he's got to deal with adapting to having a leg or arm or hand, like.
How inspirational is seeing that group of people and the way they deal with it. And I mean, I'm sure it's not smiles all the time because, but
no, it kind of is. Like these guys that I play with, they inspire the crap out of me. Like I feel like this is not even that bad of an injury, honestly.
The technology and the way that medical advancements have come along have been incredible. You're able to run the bases without a leg.
I could do anything. I still ski.
Can you do a Spartan race? Have you ever done a Spartan race?
I haven't, but if I was in better shape, I could. If I was in shape like you, I probably could.
No, I can't do a Spartan race. I did one 2 weeks ago, but no, I mean, but seriously, I mean,
no, I could if I was.
They can rebuild you. Fit. They can rebuild you to the point where if emotionally you can kind of deal with it, maybe you can throw a baseball, right? I mean, but what does it mean to be around a group like this and participate in these games? And this crazy guy with the camera is really starting to piss me off now. He's just because I'm not even going to be in the documentary, and he's just. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, I am. Thank you.
No. I mean, it seriously is the most humbling thing. Like I said, everyone here has had to overcome some like major challenges, and it's on a daily basis. It's not just to play the game of baseball. So to get us all together and like see the camaraderie and like everyone just forgets. Like when I had the new guy, we're getting in the elevator. I made a comment about him holding my shit, and the guy got in the elevator and was like, "Oh, I was all wigging out because he thought, I'm making fun of this one-armed dude." But like, that's just how it is. And like, I mean, I didn't even know his last name yet. He was a new guy on the team, so like, it's just.
I imagine the conversations of like you guys were in war, and other people were born without an arm or without a leg, and you have that. How do you there's a certain way that you bond or not, or I'm just.
I mean, there definitely is.
You have to realize I'm talking from a point of being a totally normal person, have no stress and stuff, and watching people deal with that. I just think that if more people saw how inspirational it was, we wouldn't be so damn soft.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have to drive to do those things too, because any one of these guys that were born that way, they could have given up, like. And they chose not to, and that's the difference. They chose not to.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Carlo knows what it's like to have two legs. So for a lot of times, like us military guys that get injured, we have a little more fight to get back to what once was, right? So, like, he knows what it was like. He knows what it was like to run. Like, some of these guys don't know what it's like to have two legs. So, like, in order for them to overcome those challenges and push, they have to want it.
You guys should be like the Harlem Globetrotters, just travel around the country and in these stadiums and just to inspire people. Forget about the game. I mean, nobody ever paid attention to the game. It was the entertainment of the Globetrotters, but the inspiration that I think that you guys provide to folks. She's trying to kick my ass out of here.
No, dear, they have another engagement,
sorry, I
so
didn't know.
let
I
them
could
go
talk- I
with
could
your
talk to you guys
yes,
all
all
damn
day.
Thank you guys.
Thank
for
you
coming
guys
on.
so
Thank you.
much for coming
Can we get
on.
a big hand for
Thank
our friends?
you.
And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for putting up with his questions.
I know. I overdo it. I apologize for that.
You
So
just need to.
yeah, I could talk
stick
to those.
the
I could talk to the
script. I
guys
know,
all
so
day long.
get
There's
their
no
phone
script.
number. You can.
We got to
talk-
get a picture. So we're
call them
we're
later. All right,
busting
hurry
out of
up.
here. All right,
Go.
everybody. Thanks
Thank
for
you
watching.
for coming on.
We'll see
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks for
Dan.
coming. Thanks to Dan. Bye bye.